I'm going to be honest with you, which is what I have been for every single video. If you're new here, hello, welcome, stay a while. But disrespect, you all, it doesn't always come loud. It is sometimes wrapped in those jokes, that sarcasm. It is sometimes through the tone in which someone says something. It's subtle, but your body clocks it immediately. That tight chest, that urge to shut down, that moment where you either freeze or you're about to say something you can't take back. If that's you, stay with me because today I'm going to show you how to respond to disrespect in real time without snapping, without shrinking, and without spiraling out of control. Drop a fire emoji in the chat if you've ever replayed a disrespectful moment in your head hours later, days later, thinking of what you should have said or what you could have said. I used to have those moments often where I would beat myself up because I was so emotionally turned up that I could not express myself in a way that felt professional, or I felt like I couldn't articulate myself in a way that represented who I am. My education, my expertise, my knowledge, all of the things that make me me. I would backtrack. I would think about, I could have brought this data point up. I could have brought this bit of information into this space. But because of the disrespect and because of my emotions, I could not let it out. It is difficult to articulate your needs, to express clarity, do all the things that you hope to do as a professional in the midst of heightened emotions. I'm an emotionally expressive person, if you can't tell. It took me many years to accept that. In a world that values direct and emotionally reserved communication and professionalism, I'm still okay. I still belong here. So let me tell you how you can show up, how you can level up, how you can lead up and still be you in this space and be unapologetic about it. I'm Dr. Blair Tinker. I am the creator of the Tinker Method. We are here to tinker around a little bit and figure out what's going to work for you. This is not a one-stop shop as far as approaches, but I bet you I give you something that works. I help people lead themselves, lead up, and lead with clarity, in particular in systems that don't always reward honesty or humanity. I've spent my career navigating leadership spaces where respect wasn't always guaranteed. It had to be claimed. I had to grab that thing. Y'all, I'm not a tips person. I'm a capacity builder on an individual and an organizational level. My resume proves it. Happy to share. If you want me to share, put it in the chat. I love for people to see my journey. My goal is to move people along a developmental arc. I help them name their mindset and show them what's next, not just what feels good right now. You'll see that most leadership creators, they teach skills. I teach capacity shifts. So if you're tired of being talked over, subtly dismissed, trying to appease everyone in your organization so you can have a more positive work culture, you are in the right place. Sit down, stay a while, pull out a notepad, take some notes. Let's get into this. Here's the part that most people don't understand about disrespect. It's not just emotional, it is neurological. When something feels disrespectful, your nervous system actually goes into protection mode. And protection shows up in a few different ways. Two ways I want to highlight here: silence or force. Silence, you freeze, you withdraw, you overthink. Force, you escalate, you over-explain, you explode. Neither one is leadership. And despite your title, you are a leader in your role. I said this in my first video. Go back to the first video. Let me give you some pedagogy here. This is where people get stuck, especially our high performers. Most folks are operating from a place of minimizing the differences that are present in the situation without even realizing it. It's probably not that serious. I don't want to make this a thing. We're all professionals here. That minimization doesn't make disrespect disappear. It just teaches people what they can get away with. If that landed for you, if you're realizing right now that you default to minimizing, type woke in the comments. Listen, I know people have feelings about the word woke, but the definition is the definition. You cannot unsee or unhear what you've seen and heard. Anyway, put woke in the comments so I can give some successful strategies to move out of that mindset. Again, I want to engage with you all. Let me do it. I got to give a story, right? There was a season in my life where I kept telling myself, maybe I'm reading too much into this. The tone, the sarcasm, the comments framed as praise, the external policies. Over time, I noticed something dangerous was happening. And I use that word intentionally. It was dangerous. I started doubting my own read of the room. Disrespect thrives when clarity stays silent. The moment I stopped trying to be agreeable and started being accurate, everything shifted. I had a supervisor where it felt like every policy shift they made, every comment in a leadership meeting, it felt like it was directed and pointed at me. I knew that things were happening behind closed doors, that were absolutely pervasive attacks against me, my leadership styles, even the way that I hoped to leave a lasting impression on the organization. That was fact. I knew behind closed doors what was happening. But I was in this space of confusion when it came to the external and outward things that were happening, that were affecting other people, not just me. Because how could they possibly be geared towards me when they affected everyone else? So in those moments, I failed to speak up, to use my voice, to seek clarity. So I'll never know whether or not those external practices, policies, procedures, if they were directed towards me or as a result of some interaction experience that was being had with me. And who knows if I had in real time been honest and clear, if the person would have been honest with me and been direct. But there was a lesson learned, especially as it relates to the most appropriate and effective way for me to use my voice as a leader. What could I have gotten clarity on? Whether or not those policies and practices were setting a positive standard across the institution. Could have asked the question of how are these leading us to fulfilling the mission, creating the culture that we wanted in this space. And eventually, as things got more intense, I started asking those questions. But had I done it immediately? Now, let me just say that there were things that I absolutely sought clarity on from the beginning. I asked repeatedly for the culture of our office to be defined. What do we want people to experience, to feel, to see, to hear when they walk into our space? The answer to that question never really was answered. It was a struggle for leadership. I want to pause right now because I want you to take the time to think about your workplace, the culture of your workplace. If someone that is outside of your institution, organization, company, if they were to walk in, what would they see, feel, hear? That is your present culture. Are you doing things to reinforce that culture, or are you doing things to deviate from what the norm is? Because you maybe know that it's a toxic culture. Let that stir, let that marinate a little bit. What is the culture of your office? If you don't know, ask your leaders. If you're a leader, define it and share it with the group. Let's get into this tinker method. I need y'all to know what to do, how we can engage in this process. 3 different parts to this. First step is to orient yourself. This is the self-first leadership that I personally engage in. Before you say anything, get yourself together, orient. What just happened? What am I feeling? What do I actually want from this moment? What do I want to come from this moment? This is a crucial conversation without the jargon and the fluff. Separate the fact from the story internally before you even speak. The central skill for taking control of the quality of your life and relationships is the ability to master your narrative, your story. That's the only thing you really got control over. So let's be honest. I want you to think about it right now. Are you the type that tends to over-internalize, or do you overreact? Type in or out in the chat. Let me give you some nuggets of wisdom in real time as far as what you can potentially do. After we orient ourselves, let's clarify. This is safety before strategy. Recognize that. Clarify out loud, but without accusation. This is where restorative practice matters. You're naming impact without assigning motive. People start having big feelings when you start attacking them. When you say you, I actually never start questioning with why. People tend to get a bit defensive. It is a how, a what, a where. Let me give some examples. What type of impact were you hoping for in our recent leadership meeting, in that recent conversation? Where did you want to lead the team or the conversation with this newest expectation? What direction are we going in? How can I use my influence with the team to support you? Where do you think I can help? Other examples, especially when there's more direct moments that you evaluate as being disrespectful. We tend to use I statements. This is like marriage counseling, y'all. I want a pause that landed a little sharp for me. I'm not sure if that was your intent, but it felt a little dismissive. I'm having trouble staying engaged with the tone that is being used right now. What is this doing? We're creating psychological safety, not comfort. This is about honesty. What you said, how you said it didn't land well. When people feel unsafe, they move to silence or force, aggression. Your job isn't to manage their emotions, it's to make the conversation workable. Ooh-wee! I can just see your leadership leveling up right now. Pause and go back a few seconds and let that land. Write that thing down. Put it in your phone. Write it on a sticky note. I still use sticky notes. Keep it. The next step is being direct. It's about accountability with dignity. This is where most people stop short. Direct. You say what needs to happen next. Here's what I need moving forward in this relationship. Let's reset how we're addressing this. I'm open to feedback, just not sarcasm. Baby, I've said it. I have actually said it. This boldness took time. I want you to know that this is outcome-based leadership. It's not vibes. It's not hints. I'm giving you what you can say and do. The key to real change is not process. It's people holding each other accountable to the process. And you have to make that clear and direct. Let me ground this in faith because this matters to me. I hope it matters to you too. Scripture is going to tell us, let the wise hear and increase in learning. Wisdom is not loud, but it's always measured. Proverbs reminds us that a gentle answer turns away wrath. Recognize gentle doesn't mean passive. They are not one and the same. It means controlled strength. As believers, we're called to steward our words, not surrender our dignity. Ooh, that was good. I like that one. You can be calm and clear. You can be firm and faithful. Let's reframe. If that landed for you, drop a prayer hands or a praise hands in the chat because I just need my faith people to know this is about leading up. Let's practice right now. We're going to work today. Think of the last moment you felt disrespected. Personally, professionally, don't matter to me. It all works. Finish this sentence. Do it in the chat. I want other people to learn from each other. Let's make this a community of practice. Finish this sentence in the chat. What I needed in that moment was, fill in the blank. I'm going to give you some seconds. Let the video run. Take this time to write it out. What did you need in that moment? Now imagine yourself saying that with emotions and all, but you're saying it clearly without apology. For a lot of us, we have to actually practice these things before it can actually happen in life. It's no different from any sport. I'm going to practice before I get on the field, right? So you have to practice verbalizing this, articulating what you need in the moment. The moment is gone now. It's over. Yes. But there are going to likely be more moments. So come prepared. Know how you look. Do it in the mirror. Look at your beautiful self and just say it to yourself in the mirror. But do the work. If this gave you language you didn't have before, I want you to take the next step. Download the Respect Reset Toolkit. It has 10 real scripts that you can use when that moment hits, when your body wants to shut down or snap. The link is below. Get the language, make it your own. Subscribe. I'm here increasing capacity every week. We try the things that I'm giving you. Yes, it's difficult. In real time, you probably don't have the toolkit. You can't pull out your phone. But again, this is why we're going to practice. Write down the things that have been valuable to you. Sticky note, phone, whatever you do. There's no judgment here. I'm old school with it. But do something so you can easily pull it up. Practice saying it so it's right there at the tip of your tongue when you need to use it. You've been withholding. You've potentially been overreacting. And now you're learning how to lead on purpose. Level up, lead up. I'm going to see you next week.